Glad you're with us on a hot and humid afternoon in northern Indiana. Penn State and Notre Dame. Penn State wins the toss. They defer to the second half, so Notre Dame will get the ball to open today's game. Kevin Kelly has the ball teed up to kick it off for the Nittany Lions. There he is, number 23. And the Irish send a couple of freshmen deep to return the kick, West and Walls.
An area where they really want to improve this year in the kickoff returns. Last week they had 2 of them, totaling 79 yards.
And Kelly with the kickoff. It'll be taken by West. He'll down it in the end zone. Good kick by Kelly. West downs it deep in his own end zone. And the Irish, with Brady Quinn under center, will start from their own 20-yard line. That's what he did in that narrow escape in Atlanta last week against Georgia Tech.
He probably had 6 balls dropped, though, Tom.
He was a little critical of his own play, was Brady Quinn, as he brings the Irish out for their first play from scrimmage. Adidas starting lineups for the Irish. Those are the backs and receivers, and the veteran line up front, with the exception of the freshman Sam Young starting again at right tackle. Quinn backs away from center and lines up in the shotgun. Darius Walker flanking him to the air, and it's a screen pass to Walker. Walker crosses the 30-yard line for a first down to the 32, where Scarrato chases him out of bounds. Starting defensive lineup for the Nittany Lions: Shaw, Alford, Johnson, and Shaw up front. They sometimes play a 4-man front, sometimes a 3, sometimes even a 2 against Akron last week. Puslesky, maybe the best linebacker in the country. Lee and Connor, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week after 13 tackles against Akron. Our Penn State Adidas starting lineups. Quinn, no pressure at all. And he throws it underneath the coverage. Jeff Samardzija in a wrestling match with Dan Connor for a gain of 5 yards.
Yeah, one of those linebackers, he's one of the 3 or 4 or 5 reasons they call it linebacker U this year again. Dan Connor, big game last week with 13 tackles and a couple of sacks. There's Paul Puslesny off a knee injury. First game back last week, played well again. But all 4 of their linebackers, actually they play 5, played very, very well the first week.
Notre Dame with its no-huddle offense. Quinn chased from the pocket, unloads, has a man open, catch, knocked loose on the hit. Anastasio had it for a moment, but the ball dislodged by Tony Davis with a vicious hit. Good defensive play by Davis, the sophomore from Warren, Ohio.
4 new defensive secondary people for the Nittany Lions this year. Held up well last week against Akron. A little different level of competition with an All-American receiver in Jeff Samardzija. But a nice tackle there by Tony Davis forces the incompletion.
So it'll be 3rd down for the Irish on their opening drive of the game.
Blitz look by some of the linebackers from Penn State.
3 wide receiver formation for the Irish. Quinn. Hit as he releases, and it's caught by Carlson, the tight end. Did he get enough for the first down? The spot of the football appears that he did, crossing that yellow line that marks first down yardage. First down, Irish.
Well, you talk about a tough catch, Tom. 3rd and 3. These linebackers are going from Penn State are going to make it tough for tight ends all season long. See, first of all, a terrific rush on Brady Quinn, and then perfectly thrown ball in between a linebacker Puslesny and then the defensive back, but a perfect throw and a tough catch by the tight end Carlson.
Darius Walker, first running play of the game, nets a couple of yards to the 45, where Ed Johnson in the defensive front for the Nittany Lions makes the tackle.
You know, you think about this Irish team, Tom. They were a little bit sluggish last week against a pretty good Georgia Tech team, I thought, but they still have a great quarterback. They can experience offensive line, an All-American, wide receiver, a guy who's rushed for 1,000 yards, Darius Walker, but they're still replacing 41 catches by Fasano and 69 by Maurice Stovall.
Play action fake, and Quinn's pass caught in traffic by Carlson. What a snag by Carlson with 2 defenders bracketing him.
He wasn't exactly wide open, was he? I mean, you talk about a touch pass. It has to go over just over the defender's arms and shoulder pads. Perfect throw again by Brady Quinn, that time against the linebacker Dan Connor.
Boy, Connor had good coverage. Still, it went for 29 yards. And the Irish continue to force the tempo of the game and to limit the Nittany Lions substitutions by going to their no huddle. Quinn, nothing there, unloads. Underneath to Walker out of the backfield for a short gain because Lesney hits him immediately.
We had a chance to talk to Darius Walker this week, and, you know, he's no longer just a runner. I mean, you know, he set a record, actually, last year for receptions by a running back, Notre Dame history, caught 43, rushed for over 1,000 yards. But didn't you feel like he was still forgotten?
Yeah, well, you know, he's worked to become a complete player, and he really has. And the young man has charisma, I tell you that, if you sit down and talk to him.
Lights up a room.
Quinn's only missed one pass. There's another completion. Carlson again on the receiving end. That's the third catch in this drive by Carlson, the tight end. Nolan McCready makes the tackle.
You know, interesting, Charlie Weiss play calls again. You know, he scripts those first 15 plays, attacking really what you think is Penn State's strength, and they're right in the middle of the defense where all those great linebackers play.
There's only been one run so far. Meanwhile, Brady Quinn has hit 6 of 7.
See him pointing all the time. He's always pointing to the middle linebacker to set up the protection.
From the 13-yard line, Darius Walker. One thing we've noticed about Walker, Pat, is his patience. Head up, looking, allowing his lineman to make the blocks before he makes his cut. Dan Connor got him that time after he gained about 4 yards on first down.
As we talked to him yesterday, he said, you know, as a running back, you just can't get too anxious and rush things, but boy, he's got great vision. Maybe not the fastest guy in Division I, but boy, he is so productive, and he just sees the field and turns it on when he has to.
Brady Quinn, 6 of 7, 65 yards to 3 different receivers. He has it second down at the Penn State 10-yard line with 3 tight ends. Pitch it to Walker. Walker waits for the block. Flag is down as he is wrestled down by
Sean Lee, I think.
Sean Lee, the backup linebacker. And the first penalty of the game.
They had, what, 11 of them last week, did Notre Dame?
Some of them really drive killers as well. Steve Payman of the Big Ten is the referee, and it's a holding call against the Irish. Walker?
Yeah, I think maybe Freeman. You think?
Yeah.
Tight end.
Holding. Offense, number 87.
Yeah, and they
That's a 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Marcus Freeman called for the hold. Nice play by Sean Lee, too, the sophomore linebacker from Pittsburgh. He was blocked and got off the block to make the tackle of Walker. And then the penalty against Notre Dame puts it back at the 20-yard line. It'll be second down and 17. Samardzija in motion and then resets to the top of the formation in the slot. Quinn got a lot of room on that side. Caught from behind, though, and down at the 18-yard line by Jim Shaw.
A good hustle play by Jim Shaw. It was doubtful whether Jim was even going to be able to play. Hurt his ankle last week early in the game against Akron. Didn't return. But the defensive end just kind of kept coming. Down there at the bottom of the screen, got tied up by Ryan Harris, but kind of stayed with the play and then made the play on Brady Quinn. Transfer from Rice is Jim Shaw.
His brother John, a lineman, offensive lineman for the Nittany Lions. Third down. So third and long for the Irish. Quinn pumps once, delivers, and almost intercepted. Should have been intercepted probably, as Serrato had it. It was a little behind him perhaps, but a bad throw by Brady Quinn as the pressure got to him. And so Carl Gioia will come out to attempt a field goal after missing 2 against Georgia Tech.
Just outside, you know, Jeff Samardzija ran a little post pan, was open early. Brady threw it just a little bit late. Good defense there by Serrato.
36-yard attempt by Gioia. Gioia, a former high school teammate of Jeff Samardzija. On its way. Well, the penalty prevents them from scoring the touchdown, but the Irish take the opening kickoff, march down the field, and get 3 against Joe Paterno's Nittany Lions as Joya gets his first field goal of the season after missing 2 last week. They said the problem was his plant foot. Looks to have that worked out as the Irish get on the board first. They lead Penn State 3-0. Notre Dame football is brought to you by General Motors, a new level of quality, a new level of confidence. By Powerade, sport is what you make it. And by Comcast, watch more high-def movies with HD from Comcast, where HD movies live. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson. Sold out Notre Dame Stadium. Hot and humid afternoon, and the aerial pictures courtesy of Goodyear, bringing innovative technology to you.
How about Joe Paterno?
Amazing man, isn't he? 41 seasons. He's been on the staff for 57 years overall and 355 wins.
But how about 13, 11 win seasons, 7 unbeaten seasons, 2 national championships, graduation rate over 85%.
What you're saying is a complete coach who does it the right way, and
give him tenure,
which makes him arguably the greatest coach ever in college football, certainly among the greatest coaches ever. Bobby Rinkus with a short kickoff for Notre Dame. And the return by Williams. Derek Williams with the return across the 25-yard line.
That's a guy who's going to touch the ball a lot of different ways, Derek Williams.
So Anthony Morelli will lead his offense out onto the field against Akron, 16 of 32. We mentioned earlier, first time he threw a pass, a 42-yard touchdown strike. And everyone who sees him talks about his arm strength. His coaches, opposing coaches, everyone. And we'll look at our starting lineups brought to you by Adidas. Backs and receivers for the Nittany Lions. And there is Derek Williams. They want him to get the ball as many times as they can. Tony Hunt, a little subpar game in the opener against Akron, but he is good. And the offensive lineman for Penn State.
Brown, a good one there.
From the 27-yard line, Morelli with a play-action fake. Chased from the pocket, but he finds his fullback Hahn, and Matt Hahn rambles across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Wow. Derek Landry caught him from behind, but not until he had ripped off 15 yards.
Good opening call. The fullback for Penn State touches the ball, once every papal election, and have a new pope, so he got it.
Defensive front for the Irish on our Adidas defensive starting lineups for Notre Dame. Tally Landry Law's Abby Amiri.
And Tally will share that with Chris Fromm, that one spot.
Travis Thomas not missing in action. He's going to play both ways and special teams.
Yeah, he's captain of the special teams. He'll be a 3-way player for the Irish today.
Norwood resets. Morelli fakes and then hands to Tony Hunt. And Hunt stopped before reaching the line of scrimmage by Chris Fromm and Maurice Crum Jr.
Yeah, Chris Fromm, and we just talked about he and Ronald Talley share that right defensive end position. On third downs, they brought in a freshman last week, Maurice Richardson, for pass rush, but Chris Fromm kind of gets the starts mostly against teams that start with 3 wide receivers, and Talley gets the start when they play teams in conventional formations.
Fromm, a 5th-year senior from California who was injured and rehabbed extensively to make it back for the Irish. Here's Morelli from the shotgun. Steps up in the pocket. Whips it out complete into Irish territory to Jordan Norwood.
I think he may be just short of the first down.
Yeah, it looks like about 9 yards where they spotted. I thought he had it. Well, 9 yards.
Watched some tape of Jordan Norwood from last year and then last week's game. This is a guy that does not drop the ball. I mean, really sure hands. Everybody talks about Derek Williams and Deion Butler, the 2 starting wide receivers, pretty good, but Jordan Norwood may be the best receiver, best catcher of the ball.
His dad, Brian, the safeties coach at Penn State. Just across midfield, 3rd down and short. Draw play handoff, Hunt. Driving ahead, tackled by Zibikowski, but not before he had first down yardage as Penn State keeps the sticks moving.
Yeah, Tony Hunt's a guy who ran for over 1,000 yards last week. Good pass protector. But last week, they really struggled in the running game. We mentioned that at the top, only 76 yards. A lot of penetration by that Akron defensive front. So Tony Hunt needs to be featured in this game to give Anthony Morelli a breather. But the offensive line is going to have to do a job up front against this Notre Dame front.
Hunt, a senior from Alexandria, Virginia. just short of 2,000 yards for his career, 16th all-time in Happy Valley. First down, handoff to Hunt, trying to use his blockers. Nice cutback, and Hunt breaks into the open field. Here's Tony Hunt, finally down inside the Irish 20 by Tom Zimikowski. A gain of 30 yards.
A terrific blocking. Levi Brown, the left tackle. Gerard Cadogan, the left guard, do a terrific job clearing the way for Tony Hunt. Nice cut there.
Yeah, cut back.
He cut twice, actually. And then Ndukwe was a little bit out of position there because of those two good cuts. And once again, Tom Zimikowski saves a touchdown. He did it twice last week. A good run, good vision by Tony Hunt.
And now over 2,000 for his career. First down, Irish 17-yard line. Derek Williams takes the snap from center and hands it off.
Well, Derek Williams, number 2. You mentioned he was playing in the quarterback position there. It lined up as a shotgun quarterback, returned the kick. You know, an amazing guy, promising freshman year last year, was set back when he broke his arm against Michigan, but started the first 7 games and caught 22 passes for a touchdown, had 22 carries and 3 touchdowns, and then 3 kickoff returns and averaged 21 yards.
Williams did play some quarterback in high school, Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Greenbelt, Maryland. Second down and 8. Morelli takes the shotgun snap, hands it off, but nothing doing. Irish rush defense comes up in a hurry to stop Hunt after a gain of a yard or so. Richardson the first to hit him. That's 2 straight tackles for Mike Richardson, and then Crum and Wooden joined him.
Yeah, I tell you, Mike Richardson has been a sure tackler the last couple of years. Very, very good tackler. Maurice
Richardson, that speed rusher that you mentioned, the freshman from College Park, Maryland, in on this third down play.
Yeah, he's a guy that'll line up really outside. He's right up here, and they want to get some speed off that corner.
Morelli under center. Williams in motion. Now Morelli looks his way and throws it to the tight end, Darling. And Darling makes the reception, and then Travis Thomas holds on for dear life to the big fellow, nearly 250 pounds. A 5-yard gain on the play.
And Joe Pa's considering whether he's going to go for it on 4th.
It's going to be 4th down and 2. 4th and 2. And Joe Pa decides to attempt to tie it with a field goal attempt. It'll be Kevin Kelly who hit both of his attempts against Akron last week. And of course he had that Orange Bowl where he went from goat to hero. The game winner.
Oh, bobble snap. Second game in a row they've had trouble with snap.
And they don't even get the attempt.
Last week,
it was Jason Ganter, the holder, who picked it up, and Trevor Laws tackled him.
You remember last week, Jason Ganter, slipped on a fake field goal and then mishandled a snap last week as well. Does it for the 2nd week in a row. So a good drive, all for naught because of miscue on special teams.
So the Penn State offense looks sharp, moving the ball downfield. The drive stalls, and the field goal attempt goes awry. Charlie Weiss and the Irish maintain a 3-point lead. On a hot day, those towels come in handy. They handed out 80,000 of them today to the fans coming in. Every fan got a towel. The Irish with a 3-0 lead, just over 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. First time Notre Dame had the ball, 12 plays, 63 yards, a 36-yard Joya field goal put them up 3-0. Brady Quinn hit 6 of 8 on that opening drive. Hand it to Darius Walker, broke a tackle, but still only managed a couple of yards. And looks like they'll spot it after a gain of 1. Tim Shaw made the tackle for Penn State.
Yeah, Tim Shaw, number 20. Boy, he played a lot of positions last week. They list him as a linebacker, but plays a lot of defensive end. The guy who started all 12 games last year, had 76 tackles and 4.5 sacks, a bunch of tackles for loss. Does a lot of different things well, particularly was very, very versatile last week against Akron.
One of 7 graduate students on this Penn State team. He's from Livonia, Michigan. Had a couple of sacks against Akron. Walker again, hit behind the line and thrown down by Jay Alford. He kind of broke away from Alford to start with, but then Alford recovered and spun him to the turf.
Jay Alford's the only returning defensive lineman for the Nittany Lions, but he's a good one to have come back, Tom. Just a real good inside push by number 13 here. Good pass rusher as well. Had 8 sacks last year from that inside position. You love guys that can force the pressure inside because it allows those outside linebackers to put a lot of pressure on them. But he's also their snapper on field goals and extra points.
Notre Dame 4 wides here. McKnight, Anastasio, Samardzija, and Grimes.
And a 2 down lineman set that time by Penn State on defense.
Right in the middle, McKnight with his first catch of the game. He just sat down in the middle of the Penn State defense. Posleski finally caught him, but not until he had 14 yards and a 3rd down conversion for the Irish.
Boy, is Brady Quinn happy to have Raymond McKnight back. Talked to him yesterday, said, boy, it's a breath of fresh air having number 5, the big target. Caught 8 passes last week, and Charlie Weiss was saying to us yesterday that even though he played pretty well last week, he really wasn't totally sure about his knee. He said after that last week's game, he came out healthy, expected a big day today from him.
So he had a great week of practice. He finally tested that injured knee and has confidence in it again. Darius Walker, nowhere to go.
Somebody just reached their hand out.
That was Connor. Now Connor was blocked on the ground and reached his hand out to make the tackle.
I think it was Connor and Ed Johnson both got their hand there right at the bottom. Big old Ed Johnson there, a defensive tackle. Connor at the outside linebacker. Watch the man inside right here, number 92. He's down on the ground getting squashed by Dan Santucci and reaches his right. He's got a hiding under the big body of Santucci, but heads up play by Ed Johnson.
Yeah, he got him by the ankle and held on until Connor put him down. So 2nd and 10. Irish leading 3-0 from their own 34. Quinn's pass high and incomplete through Samardzija's hands.
There's something I don't think I saw all last year was a drop by Jeff Samardzija.
Well, that was very high, but last year it became a normal thing for him to catch those kind of balls.
How about Jeff Samardzija? He caught 15 touchdown passes in 1 season last year. Only Dwayne Jarrett at USC who caught more, but really remarkable when you think in the context of some of the other receivers that have played here in the past. Tim Brown as an example, but he caught 12 touchdowns in 4 years.
Heisman winner.
Yeah.
3rd down and 10. From the gun, 4 wides. Quinn has to scramble free, trying to get to the outside and hauled down by Connor. It'll be close to the 1st down. I don't think he quite made it.
Well, we do know this about Brady Quinn. If they go for it, he's a pretty good, short yardage quarterback.
Well, how about perfect?
Yeah, 4 of 4 over the last 2 years. Are they going to punt it away? It's a good play by their Fritz linebacker, Dan Connor. Played so well last week. Forces the punt by Notre Dame.
Jeff Price did a good job against Georgia Tech. His 5 punts averaging over 50 yards.
Even a net, it was like 42 yards, Tom.
Scarrato is deep for Penn State.
Anthony Scarrato is deep.
Scarrato says get away from it. Takes a lateral bounce and will go out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. So Penn State's defense holds Notre Dame. And a 33-yard punt will turn it over to the Nittany Lions. They'll be on the field with their offense, trailing by 3. Little of the pageantry of the Notre Dame home opener. Both these schools, by the way, first started playing football in 1887.
Did their first season, did you?
I feel like it sometimes.
How about the Mensa Club meeting down here? Charlie Weiss and Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn's the mainframe, and Charlie Weiss writes the code, and it was a pretty good combination last week.
Not so good on that last drive, however, as Penn State takes over. Today's 1st down line brought to you by Xerox. So Penn State moved the ball well on their first possession before misfiring on a field goal attempt. Handed off to Wallace. A.J. Wallace, who had a big gain against Akron on a reverse last week, takes that one for 17 yards and a Nittany Lion 1st down.
Well, guess what numbers he's wearing, too? Michael Robinson's number from a year ago. A guy who had 137 all-purpose yards last week as a true freshman. Now, he's generally a defensive back, but this is the 2nd reverse he's run. And Joe Paterno not afraid to use his freshman, skilled players, and you see why.
And offensive coordinator Galen Hall is pulling out a few tricks early in the game.
Oh, good.
Nice throw by Morelli. He found Dion Butler going to his knees, but the pass was perfectly placed for a 12-yard gain. There's Galen Hall calling the plays for Penn State.
And I'll tell you, what a throw by Anthony Morelli. We talked about his strong arm, and even Charlie Weiss was talking to us yesterday about it. Just a drill shot to Dion Butler. And Dion Butler got down low before the hit. That's an awfully good throw, good lead by Anthony Morelli.
And Morelli opens the game 4 for 4. Just under 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Penn State again in Notre Dame territory. Draw play handoff, Tony Hunt. Zibikowski hit Hunt. Then the ball came loose.
Zibikowski stuffed the hole.
And still trying to unstack them. Notre Dame's ball.
Ronald Talley comes out with it.
Zibikowski made the hit. Talley comes up with a fumble. First turnover of the game.
Hey, Tom Zibikowski can affect the game in a lot of different ways. As a punt returner, as we saw last year, as a leader on defense, and here causing the turnover. Just got the right shoulder, right arm in there, kind of dug it out. Ball comes loose, and there's Talley.
So the first big break of the game, a turnover by Penn State. And timeout. 17 seconds to go first quarter. 3-0 Notre Dame leading Penn State. The officials upstairs, Dick Honig from the Big Ten, is the man looking at the replay to make sure the call was correct on the field, and that evidently it was, as Notre Dame takes over at the Irish 46-yard line. Play action fake. Brady Quinn dropped by Schwab, his fullback.
That's a couple drops by Schwab. That kind of rhymes too, but he's a great lead blocker, powerful guy. And Charlie Weiss was saying, boy, he hopes to get up by 9 points some game and let him just kind of run the clock out.
And that play will bring the first quarter to a close. Two tradition-rich programs, the Irish and Joe Pa's Nittany Lions, matched up at Notre Dame Stadium. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. You're watching Notre Dame football presented by Vonage. Ready to start the second quarter at Notre Dame Stadium with the Irish leading the Nittany Lions at Penn State 3-0. And Notre Dame has the ball second down and 10 from the Irish 46-yard line. Brady Quinn has hit 7 of 11 passes. Rifles that one complete to McKnight, who latches onto it and then knocked out of bounds by Justin King. A gain of 10 right at the first down marker.
Yeah, Raymond McKnight gives Brady Quinn another large target at 6'2". Made a big catch last week. Dropped one in that critical time, but Charlie Weiss said he had a very, very good week of practice. And they think he's going to emerge, really may not to be a co-number 1 receiver with Jeff Samardzija. Two big guys on the outside.
Injured his knee in the second game of the season last year after being the top receiver for the Irish in 2003 and 2004. 47 receptions and 42 receptions in each of those years. Quinn faked the reverse and now will be sacked back at midfield.
Boy, that's something when you get him down. Tony Davis got a piece of him and Sean Lee got a piece of him, but he doesn't go down easily, right, Tom? We've seen Brady Quinn break a lot of would-be sacks and make big plays, breaking tackles. Tony Davis, the corner blitz. You see number 45, Sean Lee, there as well.
Lee's made a couple of good plays.
Yeah.
You know, that play just took too long. Faked the dive to Walker and then faked the reverse, and then the defense was all over it. So it's second down and 17. There's Walker in the center of the defense.
You know, that's how Brady Quinn became a 65% completion passer. You know, before Charlie Weiss arrived, he was completing about 50% because he wouldn't take those checkdowns. And this is how, you know, it's Phil Simms who actually told Charlie Weiss, hey, how you become a Hall of Fame quarterback, throw to the check down. And that was a perfect down to do it on second and very long. And Darius Walker, a very capable receiver. He set a Notre Dame record last year with 43 catches.
There you see how his percentages have improved. He's 9 of 13 today. He needs another clutch one here on third down and 9.
They're not going to give a lot of easy ones to Samardzija and McKnight. They are playing really deep coverage on those two guys.
Notre Dame, it's their first charge timeout.
With the play clock down to 3, Notre Dame calls a timeout. Their first timeout of the game. So Brady Quinn will come to the sideline to confer with Charlie Weiss. We'll take a break. 3-0 Irish. Favorite events in golf?
How hot is Tiger Woods right now? In 5 straight tournaments, just blowing the field away.
The Tom Zibikowski Mohawk cut is very much in evidence in the stands here.
You know, Charlie Weiss has a near Mohawk.
You tell him that. 3rd down and 9. Key play here for the Irish to keep their drive going in Penn State territory. Quinn evades the rush. Now he's going to scramble, but he stops short of the first down.
I'll tell you that.
Kozlowski had a piece of him. Tim Shaw was there as well.
You know, Tom, the amazing thing, it was a 3-man rush. And Jay Alford, number 13, we saw how powerful he is already. They just split the double team. And Jay Alford really chased Brady Quinn out of the pocket. Ordinarily, with a 3-man rush, you shouldn't see that. Now, Notre Dame's going to go for it here on 4th and 3.
From the 37-yard line of the Nittany Lions.
John Carlson's been a featured guy earlier in this game as a tight end. All the last year, Samardzija was the guy who picked up the big plays on 3rd down.
Fake it to him, hand to Walker, and Walker has the first down.
And they fake it to Samardzija and hand it to number 3, Darius Walker. Nicely designed and called play by Charlie Weiss. We talked to him this week about play calling.
And look, everyone's expecting just what you said, that toss to Samardzija. So fake it to him, big hole for Walker.
Watch how Kozlowski was taken out by one of the big linemen, couldn't get there, but everybody was looking at just Samardzija. And Big Bob Morton does his job. Clears the way for Darius Walker, and a clever play that picks up the first.
13-yard gain. Paul Duncan in at right tackle now, replacing freshman Sam Young. Duncan, a sophomore from Dallas, Georgia.
Another good tackle by Sean Lee.
That's 2 in a row for him on Darius Walker.
You know, Sean Lee's the guy that came in for Kozlowski when he went out in the Orange Bowl and had 5 tackles after that. Played real well. One of those Western Pennsylvania guys, loves football. It's important to him. And Tom Bradley, defensive coordinator, saying he's a lot like Paul Kozlowski. He practices hard, is always real demanding of himself.
Bradley recruited him, as a matter of fact. Looks like Quinn is calling an audible here, identifying the middle linebacker there. 2nd down play. Samardzija latches onto it. Tony Davis pushes him out of bounds. A gain of 7.
Well, Jeff Samardzija, man, when they started the season last year, Tom, he was the number 3 receiver. And then there was an injury to Rhema McKnight. He became the featured guy, caught those 15 touchdown passes on 77 catches. Just, he's so athletic, at 6'5", he's so graceful, big target. You don't have to make a perfect throw for him to catch it.
I'm sure you know the story. 5th-round draft choice of the Chicago Cubs, played minor league baseball in the summer. 3 tight ends here, Carlson, Freeman, and Yeatman. Walker dancing, looking for the seam in the defense, finds it, squirts through, has the Irish first down. Connor and Johnson the tackle.
Yeah, another one of those patient runs with the good vision by the nifty Darius Walker. He's only had 4 runs in his career over 30 yards, and he's had, over 450 runs. But that's not how you measure, I think, Darius Walker. I mean, he's a complete back. Protects his quarterback. He's a good receiver, good runner, terrific vision. That's
from a player that, as a freshman, was taken out in passing situations. Yeah. Now he knows all the coverages and is an excellent receiver as well. Quinn fakes one way, throws the fade in the end zone. McKnight can't get it.
It was interesting. Last week, Brady Quinn did that a little bit too, throw the ball out of the end zone or out of the boundary. Last year, he kept every ball in the field of play, so his receivers had a chance, and oftentimes they did. But that one just a little bit too long, wasn't in the field of play. But again, once it's the 2nd time this drive, though, Tom, they faked that little look pass to Samardzija, and then that time, faked the look, went up to Rhema McKnight.
Well, they certainly have everyone looking for it, and why not? They've been so successful. They send Samardzija to the left of the formation, top of the screen. Quinn has hit 10 of 15 for 104 yards. Fake to Walker. Quinn rolls throws, delivers over the head of his tight end, John Carlson. Another poor throw by Brady Quinn. Justin King defending for the Lions.
Justin King, number 7 last year, had a remarkable freshman year. In the chase mode, little change-up speed there. He was open for the touchdown, just too high. Just a little bit off, just as he was at the beginning of the game last week against Georgia Tech. Yeah, he took out the camera. Good John Carlson.
3rd down from the shotgun. That false start, it appeared. It will be against the Irish. Step off 5. The second penalty against Notre Dame. Penn State has been penalty free.
False start, offense, number 55. That's a 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Eric Olson, the freshman guard from Staten Island, New York.
I just love the wrinkles that Charlie Weiss puts in from game to game. You know, that look pass, they averaged 10 yards a throw last year. They get up and they throw it real quickly. They've had 2 fakes off it, 2 plays.
It's always for him adjusting to what the defense gives you, right? You can't take away everything.
That's what he's saying a good play caller does. He has to adjust even in the course of the game. He can throw a game plan out and adjust. 3-man rush again.
Quinn with all day to throw. Throws, and it is incomplete. Should have been intercepted. McCready had it in his sights. Bounced off his pads. Incomplete.
Boy, absolutely. Nolan McCready had an absolute beat on that ball with a 3-man rush. 8 guys back. And, you know, they're just trying to keep everything in front of them. You know, Tom Bradley, the defensive coordinator, has been there for 29 years saying, hey, we're not going to give up a lot of big plays. Well, almost tipped there by Donnie Johnson as well. Good defensive scheme by Tom Bradley.
35-yard field goal attempt by Carl Gioia. He hit his first. On its way. And splits the uprights. So after missing 2 last week, Gioia 2 for 2. McCready almost picked it off. Brady Quinn has missed his last 3 passes and has not looked sharp in the last few minutes. The Irish again settle for a field goal attempt, but they do up their lead to 6. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward. By Vonage. By Lincoln Financial Group, providing powerful financial resources to help you say hello future. And by McDonald's. From Notre Dame Stadium, Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson. Notre Dame just kicking a field goal to go up 6-0 on Penn State. Bobby Rinkus will tee it up to kick off for the Irish. And Derek Williams and A.J. Wallace are deep for Penn State. Williams tripped up as he falls across the 20-yard line. Mitchell Thomas, special teams hit for the Irish.
I think it's the only second touch for Derek Williams today so far.
And they want to get the ball in his hands as many times as possible. 10:33 to go, second quarter. And Notre Dame up 6-0 on the Nittany Lions, who have been their own worst enemy today.
Yeah. Botched a field goal attempt, missed interception, and a fumble.
But they have moved the ball. And trying to move it again. Morelli is 4 for 4. Running play to Hunt. Kicking his way forward. Dancing across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Maurice Crum Jr. the stop for the Irish.
Antonio Hunt looks good early in this game, doesn't he? You know, a guy we said had over 1,000 yards a year ago, and pretty good receiver as well. 20 catches, and when you talk to the coaches, they say you know he plays well without the ball, which means he's a very good pass blocker. He was a big old guy at 230 pounds. Missed most of the Orange Bowl last year. Got hurt in the first series.
Second down and 5. Hunt. Nice hole. And Hunt spun to the turf after he picks up a Nittany Lion first down. That's a gain of 11.
Boy, the offensive line looks so much better and more comfortable than they did last week. Remember, 4 new starters. The remaining guy, number 67, Levi Brown, back from last year. What a season he had, Levi did. And,
there he is. He's a hoss.
He is a hoss and a half, as you say. You know, they averaged 212 yards rushing last year. A lot of those yards came right over number 67.
From Norfolk, Virginia, 328 pounds, second-team All-American, All-Big Ten a season ago. Morelli, swing pass, complete to Williams. Williams goes one-on-one with Wooden, and Wooden knocks him out of bounds.
Tom, you mentioned some of the, the miscues for Penn State that have, kept this game close, really. Special teams was the first one, mishandled snap by the holder Gander. And then the fumble caused by Tom Zibikowski. So a special teams, then the offense, and then the defense. A sure interception by McCready out of his hands that allowed a field goal by Notre Dame. And that really has been the difference.
Second down play, tackled in the backfield. Maurice Crum Jr. got the penetration.
It was fun talking to Maurice Crum Jr. yesterday. He came in and visited to us. He had a whole backpack full of books from his anthropology class and Spanish class. He said, he's playing middle linebacker this year. He says, I'm in a lot more plays, a lot more tackles in the middle of the action. And had a nice game last week. Made a nice tackle there on second down.
Morelli unable to get anything on the ground. You look at Maurice Crum Jr., his dad, an All-American linebacker at the University of Miami.
And Williams down at the bottom of the screen, one-on-one right now.
Morelli changing the play. Wooden has him one-on-one, but Morelli looks the other way. Tipped pass and incomplete. Trevor Laws tips the ball. It falls incomplete and brings up a fourth down for Penn State.
Trevor Laws can play high or low. His nickname is the Rodent. Remember, last year he got a couple of real low sacks. He kind of crawled and he got Matt Leinart here against USC. That time he went high and a perfectly timed jump by the Rodent to tip it away. Good defensive series by the Irish.
So Kapanos in punt formation for Penn State, and the dangerous Tom Zibikowski awaits the boot.
Zibikowski returned 2 last year for touchdowns and almost had a big one last week.
Left footer Kapanos sends it on its way. Zibikowski does not call a fair catch and fumbles the ball.
I think the Irish got it back. The Irish did get it back. Boy, Zibikowski has never called a fair catch, Tom.
And he should have that time.
Yeah.
Rashawn McNeil recovers the ball for the Irish, who avert disaster.
Great job by McNeil.
39-yard punt.
Good coverage that time, too, by Donnie Johnson. But, he just refuses to fair catch. I don't recall one all last year. Didn't have any last week.
Irish avert the turnover. They get the ball back, leading by 6. All the breaks have gone the way of the Irish so far in the first half. They lead 6-0. The latest break, Tom Zibikowski's fumbled punt recovered by McNeil, his teammate. As we go down to the sideline, check with Lewis Johnson.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot. Well, we saw Brady Quinn miss a couple of passes in that last series, and I watched him when he came off the field. Looked relaxed, went through his normal progression on the phone, that type of deal. But John Latina, the offensive line coach, was not relaxed. He was all over his guys, unhappy with their level of production. He said he wants more intensity, and more importantly, he said more focus, no more false start penalties on them. He wants him to move this Penn State defense back on this series. Tom?
All right, Lewis. Meanwhile, Brady Quinn, who began the game hitting 6 of his first 7 passes, is only 4 of 10 since. Sweep, toss to Walker, using his blockers. Cuts up the field and crosses the 30 to the 31-yard line. Ed Johnson tracks him down at that point.
Well, Sam Young, you mentioned that when you did the starting lineups, number 74 for the Irish, true freshman, first Irish freshman ever to start in the offensive line. Big old body. Now he's number 74. We're playing right tackle. He was 6 feet in 7th grade and 6'4" in 7th grade. He may replace Pluto as the 9th planet in our solar system.
I knew that was coming. A high school All-American in Fort Lauderdale. First true freshman to ever start an opener in the offensive line for the Irish.
That's why Paul Posluszny on that play, the way he stuffed that hole, was a consensus All-American last year. Paul Posluszny, he does just about everything well. Number 31, watch how he fills the hole. Good read. Steps outside. It was Sean Lee.
Yeah,
it was Sean Lee who got all. Again, Sean Lee.
Who's having quite a game.
You know, I think you can just put anybody's number on these linebackers. All four of them played pretty doggone well, but Sean Lee's had an outstanding first half.
So Schwab was stuffed on the carry. It's 3rd down and 2. Empty backfield as they send Walker in motion. Looked underneath and completed to Freeman, the tight end. He's going to be very close to the first down. If the spot is correct, it'll be across that yellow line for the first. Dan Connor tripped him up, but it looked like they were going to go to Anastasio, was it?
And I thought the ball was going to get picked off.
It would have been intercepted had he gone that way. Instead, he went underneath to the tight end.
Yeah, good play there. Good read by Brady Quinn, knowing that he just needed a yard to get it.
We mentioned that yellow line. The first down line is presented by Xerox. So from the 35-yard line, first down for the Irish. Clock shows just over 6 minutes to go, second quarter. Brady Quinn unloads and has his man complete to Marja. He's inside the 40-yard line, a big gain of 27 yards. Donnie Johnson tracks down Samardzija, but not until he has the big reception.
You know, even though Jeff Samardzija is a big receiver and a big guy, over almost 220 pounds, he gets off the line of scrimmage pretty quickly. Finds a little soft spot, a little hole, well-thrown ball there by Brady Quinn. Gets the chains a-moving.
He was absolutely wide open. Tough to lose him. First down at the Nittany Lion 39-yard line. Notre Dame has knocked on the door a couple times, but had to settle for a field goal on each occasion. Flags are down. Quinn scrambles, lays it up. Nice catch made, it won't count. Samardzija, who else? He was out of bounds. Plus the penalty will be a hold against Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think it was Bob Morton. John Martinez, Lewis Johnson was reporting, kind of getting after the offensive lineman. Coach Weiss said to us yesterday,
holding, offense number 78. That's a 10-yard penalty, and it remains first down.
Center John Sullivan.
Yeah, 78 is John Carlson, the center.
John Sullivan.
Sullivan, excuse me. I mistakenly said Bob Martin. A good call by the officials. John Sullivan had a couple of big blocks on Brady Quinn runs last week.
That takedown whistled, though, making it first down and 20. And here's Quinn changing the play. He's already been under center, about to take the snap, then changes it. He had a man wide open underneath. It was underneath, but he went to Samardzija, and it's incomplete. McKnight didn't have a man within 10 yards of him.
Well, here's Samardzija, McKnight, and all three wide receivers. McKnight down here, up top, and Walker was open here as well, trying to get the ball down the field. They had two guys open, was really locked in on Jeff Samardzija, that throw. You know, if Samardzija's so good, it's hard not to be locked into him, you know, because he can throw the ball up even when he's covered. A lot of the times he catches the ball, as he did last week.
But that's not the Brady Quinn we have seen. Here he is, lays it up for his tight end, and it's snagged by Carlson, and he's to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, John Carlson is going to develop into quite a weapon for Brady Quinn. That was 2nd and 20, and John Carlson gets up the field for about 30 yards.
32 to be exact.
And another perfect throw. They're playing double coverage on the outside to try to take away Samardzija and Rhema McKnight. And if you have a tight end that can catch matched up with a linebacker as good as Puzlesny is, it's still a mismatch. Perfect throw by Quinn to Carlson.
17-yard line, first down Notre Dame. On the tailback spot, Darius Walker. Nothing doing. We'll remind you at the end of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet players of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American Revolution.
Okay, how about John Carlson? He's caught 4 passes, 74 yards, and, you know, they've been in traffic.
On this drive, Brady Quinn's hit 3 of 4 for 60 yards. He has a 2nd and long here. Draw play, Walker shakes one tackler, jukes another. Finally dragged down by his feet by Scarrato. A gain of 10 yards.
Again, you know, that double coverage on the outside means you're a little softer on the inside. Sullivan does a nice job blocking Plesney, and then Darius Walker just breaks a tackle.
Breaking the tackle of Jay Alford. And so it'll be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line for Notre Dame. That was the 11th carry by Darius Walker. Carlson, Freeman, and Yeatman, 3 tight ends for the Irish. The lone setback is Darius Walker. 1 wide out, Samardzija. Fake to Walker. Quinn's pass. Samardzija with an acrobatic catch as he goes up top for his first touchdown reception of the season.
You've seen the great hands. Watch the feet this time of Jeff Samardzija. Up top, let him go up and get it. Gets the left foot down for the touch. As you mentioned, Tom, his first this year, 15 last year, and he's gotten rhythm in this drive. John Carlson really got it going.
He did. He made the 32-yard reception that set it up. And here's Joya for the extra point attempt. And it is good. As Jeff Samardzija with another sparkling catch. Every time he takes the field, you know you're going to get something like this.
Well, you know, he makes the routine catches, he makes the difficult catches, and he makes the absolutely remarkable catches. That was kind of more of the difficult one. I think the remarkable one was last week against Georgia Tech. But, you know, you can have him covered, and he's still open. You give him a chance.
13-0 Irish. Brady Quinn throws his first touchdown pass of the season. His coach says he has it all.
There's 3 different components that make up any legitimate quarterback. Though to the layman, it's the physical attributes, of which he has all of them. He has a great psyche or psychological approach to the game, and he has a great mental approach to the game, and that certain special moxie that comes out with all the great quarterbacks he seems to have. And for the ladies in the house, you know, he's good looking on top of it.
There's the heartthrob with the helmet off. The matinee idol Brady Quinn, his first touchdown pass of the season. He was 4 of 5 on that drive, 67 yards, as the Irish go 9 plays, 75 yards for the first touchdown of the game. Derek Williams takes the Rangers kickoff. And Williams nearly broke free, but then stopped short of the 20-yard line.
You know, a familiar sign I saw this weekend at walking around the Notre Dame campus was, "Brady, please marry my sister."
It'd be good to get into that family after next year. As, the signs all over for this. This has been a real zoo around here for the last 2 or 3 days. I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
All the hoopla surrounding a Notre Dame game intensified by the fact that the team is ranked in a tie for 4th in the nation.
Well, Derek Williams
takes the snap in the shotgun and advances 4 or 5 yards on first down for the Nittany Lions, who have 3.5 minutes to work with now before halftime.
That's the same. They've done that twice now. Anthony Morelli lines up as a wide receiver, and Williams lines up as a shotgun quarterback. And so they're trying to get him really combined about 20 touches between kickoff returns, punt returns, you know, handoffs, and receptions.
Morelli has hit 5 of his 6 passes in this first half.
Well, he's going to have to rally here.
It's a draw play handoff to Hunt. Tony Hunt will have a first down across the 30, dragged down from behind by Ambrose Wooden, a gain of 9 and a first down.
You know, a good play by Tony Hunt on a couple of levels. I mean, he made a real good move to avoid Maurice Crum, then outran Mike Richardson, but most importantly, got out of bounds to preserve, you know, some time.
Clock shows 2:52 as it's restarted.
He's got 3. We have all 3 of their timeouts. No, 2, 3. All 3 left.
Yes, they do. Morelli, first down.
Oh, open.
Hangs it up. wide open. Butler, flags are down. That'll be an interference against Notre Dame.
Well, if there's such a thing as a good penalty, it is one, because Deion Butler was wide open. Wide open. The ball underthrown to Deion Butler.
That's when that strong arm of Morelli, had he been able to lay it out there, that was a touch.
Well, Deion Butler said that, hey, you can't outrun his arm. Well, he
Pass
just did.
interference. Number 20 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot with an automatic first down.
Call it on Lambert. The pass interference. There were 3 Irish around the football.
Boy, Deion Butler, just a little stop and go right by Lambert, number 20. Really, actually, ended up being a relatively smart penalty by Lambert.
Yep, there it is. Clearly before the ball got there. So at the 49-yard line of the Nittany Lions, clock approaching 2.5 minutes, they have a first down. Williams again from the shotgun. Made a cutback, got it into Irish territory down to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, once again, Anthony Morelli lined up way down the bottom of the screen as a wide receiver. Derek Williams taking the direct snap.
Well, they let several precious seconds tick off before they decide to take their first timeout. Timeout Penn State stops the clock at the 2:19 mark in the first half. Penn State driving, trailing the Irish 13-0, closing stages of the first half from Notre Dame. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Chase. To apply for a Notre Dame credit card with Blink from Chase, call 877-49-BLINK. And you always know it's a big game when you see that big blimp come sailing over the horizon. Today's aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Morelli on second down. Screen pass wide open. Hunt using his blockers. Makes a nice cut. Still on his feet. Tony Hunt down inside the 15 or down the 25, close to the 20-yard line. A 26-yard gain on the screen pass to Tony Hunt.
Terrific call. Late flag there too, Tom.
Oh, and you can tell by the body language that's going to be against Penn State, and we'll bring it back.
Perfect call against an all-out blitz, and that's what Notre Dame had. Little screen, and Tony Hunt, all 230 pounds of him.
During the run, clipping number 57 on the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It remains second down.
A.Q. Shipley commits Penn State's first penalty of the game, but it'll go in the column as another Nittany Lion miscue that nullifies a big play.
Yeah, look at all the real estate out there. There's the clip right there. Derek Landry didn't even go down. I think it's a questionable
I thought
call.
He had his head in front.
Yeah, I don't think that's a call.
When he made the block, it looked like he had his head in front. That's a tough call.
That's a bad call.
Second and 14. Morelli in the shotgun. Here's the pressure. Diving attempt made and incomplete, intended for Deion Butler.
But there's a perfect example of what pressure does. You just mentioned under pressure. Everybody talks about sacks so much, but Victor Abiamiri, while he didn't sack him, was in his face, had no chance to get that ball downfield because he had a receiver open. But the rush by Victor Abiamiri prevented him from getting the ball to him.
1:43 on the clock. It's third down and 14. Morelli steps up, tripped up from behind, and sacked on the play by Abiamiri.
Well, it was a pressure on the play before, and then a sack for -8 on the next play by Victor Abiamiri. He's a really good pass rusher. A year ago, he's hurt most of the first part of the season, came on the second half of the year to get 8 sacks, and a good physical hustle play by Victor Abiamiri. I think Notre Dame's going to use one of their timeouts.
They will use their second timeout. Stops the clock with 1.5 minutes remaining. Well, Penn State had the long gain, threatening the Notre Dame goal, and then the penalty wiped that out. And then the sack by Abiamiri. It'll be fourth down. 90 seconds left in the first half, and coming up at halftime, the Toyota Halftime Show. We've got the NFL gang out to work today. Bob Costas, Chris Collinsworth, Jerome Bettis, Sterling Sharp in our New York studio. Chris spent some time with Peyton and Eli Manning to find out how they're getting ready for the big game tomorrow night. They'll also have college football scores and highlights coming up on the Toyota Halftime Show.
You know, I haven't forgotten Jerome Bettis around here. I saw a bunch of his jerseys today around the Notre Dame campus.
Last time Notre Dame and Penn State met, he made a play that enabled the Irish to win. That's Kapanos in punt formation. Zibikowski is deep. High snap. Kapanos pulls it down. Low punt. Diving catch by Zibikowski. Again, a dangerous move, but he gets away with it that time. He fumbled the first one. A 32-yard punt with no return. And Penn State, they can go to the locker room, Pat, and point to the fact that they're moving the football. They're averaging 5.5 yards a play, but have not scored a point in this first half.
You know, and Brady Quinn has plenty of time with 1:20 and still a timeout remaining to get his team in scoring position.
Clock started, of course, with that change of possession. New rule this season. Underneath to Carlson, the big fella, with another catch, and he's out of bounds. Kozlowski holding on for dear life. That was a battle between behemoths.
You know, and it's really hard on an internal clock for a quarterback to hold the ball that long, Tom. But it was just a three-man rush. And Brady Quinn had a patience, and just to hang in there until he finally found that behemoth.
Carlson, 6'6", 256 pounds. Kozlowski, 6'2", 238.
Okay, Carlson almost has 100 yards in receptions in the first half.
Quinn underneath Walker, tossing. They matched him up with the linebacker, Kozlowski, and Walker races for the sideline and gets out of bounds after a short gain of only 4 yards, but he was able to stop the clock.
Good block on the outside by Chase Anastasio, the number 3 receiver today.
Second and 6.
Second down. Quinn again underneath to Walker. Again racing for the sideline. Kozlowski in hot pursuit.
Well, I was watching Ryan Harris, the left tackle for Brady Quinn. Boy, did he stuff Jim Shaw that time to allow Brady Quinn to get that ball in the left flat. Watch the left part of your screen. Number 68, Ryan Harris. Just absolutely thwart Jim Shaw, and that allows Brady Quinn right over the top of him. Good throwing lane there to Darius Walker.
56 seconds on the clock. First down, Nittany Lion 38-yard line. Quinn, plenty of time. Found an open man. McKnight to the 20-yard line. Tony Davis the hit. But the Irish have an 18-yard gain and a first down deep in Nittany Lion territory.
Yeah, and they're not getting anywhere close to Brady Quinn now.
45 and counting.
Three-man pass rush not putting enough heat on Quinn at this moment. The linebacker, 2 linebackers this time.
Quinn evades the rush, though. Here's Brady Quinn. Tucks it under, dives inside the 10. First down, Irish. Clock stops as they reset the chains at 30 seconds.
He beat you with his arm, his mind, and then his legs, maybe. Did last week against Georgia Tech.
Had the quarterback draw for the winning score.
Still have a timeout left.
Brady Quinn has hit all 4 of his pass attempts on this drive. Again flushed from the pocket. He'll keep it and duck out of bounds, stopping the clock with 12 seconds showing.
A loss of a yard.
Joe Pa on the Nittany Lions sideline. The Nittany Lions, as we said, averaging over 5.5 yards per play from scrimmage, but it's been the big mistakes that have been their undoing. Notre Dame has taken its final timeout of the first half. And Charlie Weiss takes a look at that laminated play sheet. He'll give the call to his quarterback. We'll see what it is when we return to Notre Dame Stadium. 13-0 game with 12 seconds left in the first half. Today's aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, bringing innovative technology to you. Brady Quinn has hit 8 of his last 9 passes, 4 for 4 on this drive, as the Irish have it. Second down from the Penn State 10-yard line.
Last week of this situation, ran a quarterback draw for a touchdown, but there's 2 inside linebackers there watching for that.
So he's going to go to the air and has the touchdown. McKnight came wide open. Touchdown, Notre Dame. And welcome back Raymond McKnight after missing last season, virtually injured in the second game. Petitioned for another year, got it, and catches his first touchdown pass of the season.
And Tom, how about the pass protection for Brady Quinn? I mean, you know, if you get 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, he was up to like 7 or 8 Mississippi on that one.
Mississippi and Alabama.
Yeah.
Joya's extra point attempt is down the center, and McKnight with the touchdown reception. And Brady Quinn's second aerial touchdown of the game.
And, you know, right before this play, watch Raymond McKnight kind of shaking his hand, rubbing his hands again. Oh, boy, throw it to me. I've got it. I'm going to be open. I know the call. I'm going to get the back of the end zone. Just give me a chance, coach. And they call his number. Right in the back of the end zone. 2 guys, 3 guys on Samardzija, 0 guys on McKnight. That leads to a touchdown.
Yeah, they just turned him loose, and they got no help whatsoever. And Brady Quinn spreading the ball around. Carlson has caught 5, Walker's caught 5, McKnight 4, including a touchdown, and Samardzija 4, including a TD.
Yeah, you're right. You know, 2 tight ends have caught a passes, a back, and 2 wide receivers. They're really mixing it up. That's why, you know, they're hard to defend. They have a lot of different people they can turn to when things aren't going well, or even when they are going well, like they are right now.
7 seconds left.
Now, the only redeeming thing is, Penn State gets the ball to open the second half, Tom. They're going to have to muster a drive to get back in this thing. How about Notre Dame's defense? They shut out in the second half last week, and they may have shut out Penn State in this first half.
The much maligned defense, at least preseason. Corliss, the freshman, picks up the squib kick to bring the first half to a close. Joe Pa and the Nittany Lions moved the ball but made some critical mistakes. And then Brady Quinn and the Irish offense got it cranked up in the second quarter. And the Irish dominating as they leave the field after the first 2 quarters of play, leading Penn State 20-0. Let's go to Lewis. Getting ready for the second half, Notre Dame leading Penn State 20-0. And a few moments ago, Lewis Johnson caught up with Joe Paterno.
Coach, you had several miscues in the first half that left you with no points. What happened there? What are your adjustments?
Well, hopefully we don't make those mistakes. We didn't play very well the first half. I think we got tired. Time of possession. We got to get the ball, make a drive, keep it, so our defense isn't on the field the whole game.
What about the noise? It is awfully loud here. How much trouble is that for Morelli in the line?
No, that's not a problem for us. We've done a pretty good job moving the football. We're just inconsistent.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Okay.
Pretty well summed up by 79-year-old Joe Pa. Heading to the third quarter here. They have moved the football, but have made key mistakes.
Well, he mentioned being tired. I mean, Notre Dame possessed it for 19 minutes in the first half.
Time of possession clearly favor of the Irish. Bobby Rinkus set to kick it off to Williams and Wallace.
They need a big special teams play and a spark on offense in this drive to get back in it.
Well, Derek Williams capable of giving them one, but this kickoff buried by Rinkus. There'll be no return.
Every quarterback gets tested, and Anthony Morelli is right now. Look at those first halves. They have time of possession. Look at that. Almost 19 minutes there for Notre Dame, and then 45 plays, doubled them up in that category. Really, they really possessed the ball, as they did last week against Georgia Tech when they ran 26 more plays than the Yellow Jackets.
And everyone talking about the new rules are going to limit the plays somewhat of the offense. Not so for Charlie Weiss and the Irish in first 6 quarters of the season. First down at the 20 for the Nittany Lions. They need to get something going here on the first drive of the half. It's a handoff to Hunt, And the Nittany Lion tailback rips off about 8 yards on this first carry of the half. Maurice Crum Jr. with the tackle for Notre Dame.
That's a good place to start, is Tony Hunt, who had a pretty good first half for the Nittany Lions.
And here they're going to try to up the tempo, as Notre Dame did to start the game by going to the no-huddle offense. Play action fake. Morelli hangs it up. It's for Williams.
Dropped it.
And he dropped it. Couldn't get it. Incomplete.
I think it went right through his hands.
Lambert was there with him, but Williams clearly had a shot at the football and could not hang on.
Yeah, perfect throw by Anthony Morelli, beating Lambert. Yeah, didn't go right through his hands?
Right through his hands.
Yeah. Wow.
That's been the kind of day it's been for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah. Don't let him hold your newborn there.
Williams to the sideline. Third down. Morelli with an option. Nowhere to go. Lost it. Picked up.
Bad decision.
Zibikowski with another score. Travis Thomas, the converted tailback, dislodged the ball from Morelli, and the ever-present, the ubiquitous Tom Zibikowski hauls it in for the score.
Well, he's forced a fumble in the first half and recovers the fumble in the third period here and brings it in. Really kind of a poor decision here by Morelli. Should have just kept it, tried to pitch it way, way too late. He gets sandwiched between Crum and Thomas. And there is Zibikowski, who scored 4 times last year, Tom. Twice as a defender, twice as a punt returner, gets his first touchdown of the year.
In fact, his 6th career touchdown. Punt return, interception return, fumble return. Joya's extra point is good. So lightning strikes early for the Fighting Irish. Morelli's fumble scooped up by Zibikowski.
Well, Zibikowski knocked his opponent out in 49 seconds in his boxing match this summer. Didn't take him too long here to open the third quarter.
And Maurice Crum Sr., he'll be happy to see Junior put his hand right on the football to help knock it loose. Give him a break, Dad. Anthony Morelli on the phone to Galen Hall, his offensive coordinator. They ran the option on 3rd and short. Maurice Crum and Travis Thomas forced the fumble, and Zibikowski took it in for the touchdown.
Remember the play before, Derek Williams dropped would have been a sure first down. It was a big play.
The Renkus kickoff fielded by Derek Williams deep in the end zone again. He won't come out with it. And Morelli will get another chance from the 20-yard line.
Well, it has been a long day for Joe Paterno and his Nittany Lions, down by 27 points, and a lot of it on their own doing. A mishandled snap on their opening drive on a field goal attempt, and then Zibikowski causes a fumble by Tony Hunt. And then the clipping penalty, I didn't think it was a penalty really, but they called it, brought back that big play. And then just a moment ago, the fumble that was returned by Zibikowski for a touchdown and the 27-0 lead.
Play action fake by Morelli. Chase from the pocket. He steps up and delivers and hits a strike to Norwood. And Norwood still on his feet, racing to the 45-yard line of the Irish, where Ndukwe finally tracks him down. 34-yard gain to Jordan Norwood.
Yeah, a guy who played really well in the Orange Bowl last January. 6 catches, over 100 yards. 7 catches last week. Probably their surest hand receiver.
Draw play handoff to Hunt as Penn State sticks with a no-huddle, and he gets nothing. Back to the line of scrimmage where he's stuffed by Crum.
Maurice Crum is kind of a presence there in the middle now, isn't he? Moved from outside linebacker a year ago, only experienced linebacker, and Charlie Weiss says, hey, we need to move you in the middle because you're going to be involved in more plays, and he's responded.
Second down, Morelli from the shotgun. There's that strong arm, but he threw it right to Richardson of Notre Dame, who was in front of Norwood. I don't know what he read there, but Richardson was clearly in it. Bounced off his pads.
Well, you know, it's one of those internal clocks. He just thought he might catch him on an angle.
Yep.
But great coverage by Mike Richardson. He's had a couple of good tackles earlier in the game as well. Big third down right now for Anthony Morelli. You know, every young quarterback gets tested. I mean, this is a tough test in Notre Dame Stadium, down by 27. But facing 3rd and 10, you've got to pick up a first here.
Penn State went to the huddle that time. 3 wide receivers set in the shotgun.
Four-man rush.
Morelli drills, it's incomplete. Intended for Williams, and just now the flag comes in. It could be on Lambert, which would be his second interference call of the day.
Yeah, Derek Williams is a guy they've got to continue to try to get the ball, even though he missed that last catch, over the last
Pass
series.
Interference. Defense number 20. That's a spot foul with an automatic first down.
Terrell Lambert with their 5th defensive back to corner. I don't know, Tom, on that one.
Close call.
And Morelli's a happy guy.
So Lambert, the junior from Oxnard, California, called twice for interference. Here's Morelli's throw. Nearly picked off, intended for Chris Bell, and Duque had the coverage, and Wooden was there too.
Boy, Charlie Weiss was talking to us about how well Duque is moving around in the defensive backfield. Lost 20 pounds in the offseason. A lot of extra lean jackal, I think, Tom. Brady Quinn's high school teammate, receiver for Quinn.
Kaufman High School, Dublin, Ohio. That'll be a false start against Penn State. Notre Dame has gotten Pat Coons into the game in the defensive line, sophomore from Indianapolis.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 67. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains second down.
And, Tom, I think that's for the Irish faithful. You talk about defense and depth, and Pat Coons gives them some of that. They have to really be happy with the way this Notre Dame defense has played today and that second half of the Georgia Tech game last week where they pitched a shutout.
Morelli throws a screen. Hunt.
I thought Abby Amiri got held.
And Hunt didn't get much blocking. Short gain on the plays. He's driven out of bounds.
It sure looked like Victor Amiri got held on that one. Trying to get the ball to Tony Hunt has been a pretty effective receiver. Watch right down here. Tell me, Tom.
Yes, I'd say.
Yeah.
Third down and 12. Morelli steps up. He's going to run with it. Morelli will have the first down and more. Anthony Morelli hammered at the 10-yard line, but he takes it down into scoring territory before Crum and Duque chase him down. That's a 28-yard gain on the scramble by Anthony Morelli.
Anthony Morelli has played pretty well. Even though his team has not scored, he has delivered the ball well. He's 8 of 13. He's had some drops. He's had some miscues. Some teammates fumble the ball. And, he's not known to be Michael Robinson, but a nice run there by Anthony.
Lays it up for Butler. Well covered by Wooden. Incomplete. It'll be second down. They can make a first down. It's at the 11-yard line.
Dean Butler, I think, is an interesting story. A guy that really came to Penn State as a walk-on, even though it had a phenomenal high school career in Virginia, and then they made the freshman All-American team last year.
Short drop. Morelli's pass deflected, incomplete. Picked up by Norwood in case it was a backward pass, but it is incomplete.
And Duque, who's played very well, tipped that ball. That play had a chance of something good happening. That little quick pass to the slot receiver. Well, Charlie Weiss implored the student body last night at the rally to have his students be loud.
He's got the towels, the green towels rolling too. From his students. Morelli for the end zone.
That was a gimme.
Derek Williams.
That was he was open. That one was underthrown by Anthony.
Yeah, it was right on the turf, and he just couldn't come up with it.
Right on the break, you see how open he is.
Yeah.
Behind him, easy touchdown. They're attempted down 27, going for 3. Tom might go to the end zone.
Yeah, a little surprised here. Fourth down and 10. Instead, they'll try a 28-yard field goal just to get on the board. Kevin Kelly. And the left footer boots it through the uprights for the first points of the day for the Nittany Lions. But a bittersweet field goal as they settle for the 3 points. And with 11:29 left in the third, still down big, 27-3. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Lincoln, Reach Higher, by Vonage, by Adidas and PowerWeb, Reggie's uniform of speed, and by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, it's in the NFL, is it in you? And our aerial coverage today brought to you by Goodyear, bringing innovative technology to you. Beautiful shot from the Goodyear Blip high above Notre Dame Stadium, sold out for the 186th consecutive time as we take a look at our Lincoln scoring drive. 28-yard field goal, the first one of the game for the Nittany Lions. 10 plays, 69 yards, but as we said, they had to settle for 3.
It could have been 7 with the completion to Williams. Well, these vaunted Penn State linebackers are going to have some work to do the rest of this game time.
Kelly with a kickoff. Weston Walls the deep man for the Irish. Taken by West. And to the 25-yard line. George West, the freshman from Spencer, Oklahoma. And the tackle is by Joe Cianciolo.
Yeah, Brady Quinn has really got to spread the ball around. A lot of tight ends have caught the ball. John Carlson with 5, as you see. His running back Darius Walker also with 5, and then McKnight and Samarza 8 between those two. Again, just really moving the ball around, throwing the ball deep. They're throwing it short. Even the tight ends caught that long pass, 32-yard one over the middle.
Samardzija in motion, first down, toss to Walker. Schwab gave him a block, but the Penn State defense able to string it out to the sideline and prevent a big gain. Tony Davis bumped Walker out of bounds.
Darius Walker, another productive first half for him. Caught, 4 balls for 40 yards, ran for about 40 yards as well. Just kind of an all-around good first half for him. Quietly, he does it.
Played every play, too, didn't he?
I believe so.
Notre Dame setting up here on second down. Penn State showing blitz. Walker picking his way forward. Falls across the 30-yard line. Only got a yard or two. It'll bring up a third down for the Irish.
Yeah, number 40, Dan Connor, in on part of that tackle. Plays what they call their Fritz linebacker, and they were telling us how they got the name Fritz. It was the guy who used to deliver pizza to the team in the 1950s. Fritz somebody.
And Rip Engel named the other linebacker Hero. He didn't want to name one Monster. He thought that was a bad connotation, so he named him Hero.
And there you go, you got Hero and Fritz.
Quinn on target to McKnight. McKnight shakes one man, ducks under another, but knocked down at the 40-yard line. Jim Shaw hit him hard enough to knock him to the turf. An 8-yard gain and an Irish first down.
But how about the hustle of Jim Shaw? This guy with a bad angle. He was at the beginning of this play, he was rushing the passer. And then ran McKnight on just a little quick out. And then number 99 on the hustle play. Okay, that's got to be encouraging for Joe Paterno, a guy that weren't even sure he was going to be able to play.
Quinn on first down. Sacked. Donnie Johnson, the safety, comes on a blitz and sacks Brady Quinn for a loss of 7.
Well, and Brady Quinn does not turn the ball over. How many times have you seen quarterbacks from the backside get sacked and cough the ball up? He's strong. I guess he feels it, he senses it, then he protects the football. So a smart play by Brady Quinn. A nice blitz by Donnie Johnson, a guy who's done just about everything in his career. Has been through losing seasons, and then last year the winning seasons, and then about 4 different position changes.
Senior from Cincinnati. Second down and 17 after his sack. Again, after Quinn, and again, he'll be taken down for a loss. Ed Johnson this time. And tomorrow, don't miss a special Meet the Press as Tim Russert sits down with Vice President Dick Cheney for the first time in 3 years. A live exclusive interview. Dick Cheney in an interview you won't want to miss tomorrow morning on Meet the Press. Check your local listings.
Well, if John Latina, the offensive line coach, was upset in the first half, he's going to be upset after that last series, I promise you.
Yeah, 2 straight sacks. The last one for a loss of 11. Makes it third down and 28.
What do you call here, Tom? Statue of Liberty.
Handed to Darius Walker after faking that look pass to Samardzija.
So a good defensive series. You know, they got on the board. Penn State got on the board with a field goal, and then a good defensive series forcing the punt. I think only the second punt, I think, by the Irish today. So a good defensive series.
And it was Sean Lee that made another tackle.
Yeah. And so, you know, now Derek Williams, the superb punt returner for Penn State, gets a chance to give his team very good field position.
Well, he dropped a couple of long gainers, possibly. And he has a chance to make up for it here with a big special teams play. Jeff Price will boot it his way. Nice puts the foot to it, and it's a soaring punt. Williams fields it back at the 13-yard line and then is immediately taken down. Great special teams play by Lambert. A 60-yard punt and only 4 yards on the return as the Irish special teams player swarmed all over him.
I'll tell you, Terrell Lambert was down there all by himself. Look at number 20 make this open field tackle against a pretty dynamic player in Derek Williams. That's a heck of a special teams play by Terrell Lambert.
27-3 Notre Dame. Let's take a look now at our Liberty Mutual Legends of the Game. And our legend this week is Angelo Bertelli, known as the Springfield Rifle, the first of 7 Heisman Trophy winners for Notre Dame. He took home the award in 1943. In his record over 2.5 seasons, 21-2-3, leaving in mid-season of 43 for boot camp to serve in World War II. Angelo Bertelli.
Now, each of their 7 home games, Notre Dame's going to kind of honor one of the former winners, and if things go according to plan, they're going to have an 8th home game next year.
Whose plan is that? That last punt by Price, by the way, officially 62 yards, his longest of the season. Here's Morelli with a play-action fake going up top on first down for Williams, and intercepted by Ndukwe.
Shenendu Ndukwe looks like a runway model after he lost the 20 pounds, and he is moving around the field awfully well. And that was kind of really a poor throw by him.
Never had a chance.
Yeah, it was kind of a punt. Just kind of threw it straight up in the air. And I know he was just trying to let his wide receiver out-jump a guy, but when you see a free safety there in Ndukwe, you can't throw it there.
He had dead aim on it for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So another turnover as Morelli is picked off by Ndukwe.
They didn't have any turnovers last week. 3 thus far, if my memory serves me correctly.
Good. First down Irish, their own 45-yard line, already leading 27-3. 3 tight end formation. Darius Walker takes the pitch, using his blockers to get 7 yards on first down.
We talk about using his blockers, and boy, I tell you, the 78 John Sullivan, the centers, had another nice game, and as we talked to Charlie Weiss yesterday, and he was talking about the offensive performance last week against Georgia Tech. He mentioned 2 guys, John Sullivan and Darius Walker. Remember, Sullivan really was through the 2 key blocks when Brady Quinn scored on the quarterback draw, and then late in the quarterback sneak, it was Sullivan who threw the key ones.
And, of course, Walker did it in front of the home folks. He was from Lawrenceville, Georgia. He said 25 tickets for the game, but he could have had at least twice that many. Did that short hop Carlson, or did he make the catch? Incomplete.
Sometimes you forget how good athletes these big guys are, but John Sullivan mentioned his hometown in Connecticut. I mean, he played high school rugby, water polo, threw the javelin, was a high school wrestler, did just about everything. Just a big old athlete.
That misfire by Quinn, his first miss in his last 8 attempts. For the day, he's 20 of 29 for 237 yards. Penn State shows blitz. Quinn has it tipped incomplete. Intended for McKnight.
The Irish kind of game planned around Paul Posluszny pretty well. We haven't really called his name much, as good as Paul is.
Ed Johnson, I believe, did he tap that one? Yeah. Yes, he did.
Nice timing by Ed.
Last ball was dropped by 92 Ed Johnson.
So Derek Williams is deep on 4th down. And Jeff Price, who had that 62-yarder last time, will punt it away. Just try to
go fake.
It's a fake punt, and it's a first down.
Travis Thomas with a cutback and just tripped up
at the 4-yard line on the fake. Travis Thomas. Scarrato prevented the touchdown. 44 yards.
Travis Thomas.
Well, he plays offense, defense, or I should say defense, offense, and now special teams.
He's the captain of the special teams. I'll tell you, the coaching staff, Brian Polian, who's the special teams coach, really saw something as he was watching tape and found a little hole in that defense on 4th down. Perfect call. John Carlson gets a nice block. And then the former running back, I guess still a part-time running back.
He put on a great move there toward the end. And Notre Dame is forced to call a timeout. Still celebrating the fake punt, I think, and calling a timeout with 6:02 on the clock as Charlie Weiss goes to the fake punt, pouring it on the Nittany Lions. The longest run of the career of Travis Thomas has the Irish in scoring territory. Travis Thomas, the senior from Washington, Pennsylvania, with a big play on the fake punt.
Well, let's have another look at Travis Thomas. There's an awfully well-designed punt. He's the up back there, but you're going to watch this big old lane that comes wide open for him, which really allows him, watch right there. I mean, there's just a giant gap there for him to pick up the first down, nearly the touchdown. So Brian Polian, the special teams coach, did a great job of scouting, and then they executed it. This looks like the Notre Dame team of last year.
It does, doesn't it?
Last week was a little bit of a hiccup for him offensively.
Well, give Georgia Tech some credit, too. First and goal at the 4-yard line. Irish, Darius Walker. They stand him up just short of the goal line. Leslie was the first to hit him. It'll be inside the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal.
Travis Thomas does so many things. Well, he's coming in now as a running back, as you see in the short yardage, but started the game on defense. Kind of ran out the clock last week. You see on last week against Georgia Tech, 4 tackles and then 7 special teams played over 24 minutes.
I'm just guessing we let him score after that.
Well, why not?
Thomas. And Penn State had the same idea, didn't they?
Yeah, unless you have a bunch of really good linebackers, say no, not on my watch.
Plus, you can't fool Paul Plesney.
Yeah, Plesney, and Dan Connor was there too.
He's an academic All-American as well as an All-American, and he said, you know what?
Yeah, not here. Yeah, really a terrific play by Paul, co-captain. You know, playing linebacker at Notre Dame is a functional equivalent of playing, linebacker at Penn State, a functional equivalent of playing quarterback at Notre Dame.
Right. The Butkus and Bednarik winner from a year ago. So it's 3rd and goal. Fake it to Thomas. Quinn. Incomplete.
Yeah, just a little too hot.
Intended again for John Carlson.
They look for Carlson early and then try to get it, squeeze it in there to Jeff Samardzija. Just a little too high and too hot, Tom. You're right, but the first read was Carlson. The delay, he wasn't there. And then now he tries to drill it to Samardzija.
Yeah, it's Samardzija, actually, that couldn't hang on.
Yeah, maybe if he had thrown a little bit out ahead of him. And they're going to go for it on 4th down. Again, the usual play calling of Charlie Weiss.
They're 2 for 2 on 4th down so far today. Samardzija, the motion man. Give it to Thomas, racing for the corner of the end zone. Stood up, driving ahead. And he got the touchdown. Justin King hit him hard. And he just was able to keep driving and break the plane of the goal line. Travis Thomas, who set it up on the fake punt, takes it across for the score.
I'll tell you, what a determined run here by Travis Thomas. And Tom, what a great story. 2 years ago, he was in Tyrone Willingham's doghouse for fumbling. He got a new start last year with Charlie Weiss. A great game as a running back against USC when he really controlled the clock. Then he played special teams, and now he's doing it all for the Irish. The perseverance of Travis Thomas.
Julia's extra point is good. In the spring, Charlie Weiss called him in and said, we need speed on defense. Would you switch to defense? He had to think it over for a little while, but then he said, yes, I will. Now he does everything.
And you know what? What did he say to us last year? He said, I'm not afraid of contact. And you just saw an example of that. Just a delightful young guy we got a chance to talk to this week.
And a hug for the man who gave him a second chance. .34-3, Travis Thomas with a fake punt and then the touchdown. He's just done a little bit of everything throughout this game.
Travis Thomas forces the fumble there. The Tom Zibikowski returns for the touchdown. The fake punt a moment ago. And then Coach Weiss says, here's your bone. But watch how physical the end of that run is. And runs right over King for the touchdown.
King made a tough hit, too, and lost his helmet in the process as Thomas broke the plane of the end zone for the score. 8 plays, 55 yards, 2.5 minutes. As Rinkus with the kickoff. A.J. Wallace. Again, good special teams coverage by the Irish. Stopped short of the 20-yard line by the Notre Dame special teams. That was Steve Quinn. Well, Travis Thomas, as Charlie Weiss said, he's created a monster.
Travis Thomas is my created two-way monster, and he will play both sides of the ball. He will play on offense, he'll play on defense, and he'll play on special teams.
You know, I came to Notre Dame to, be remembered as someone special, to make my mark. So to be known as a three-way player, that's definitely something that I love to do.
Well, he is making his mark this year. The last year kind of played some special teams and some offense, but boy, he's made a difference in this defense. Giving up 3 points thus far to Penn State, shut out in the second half. They are faster, and he's a part of it. He's an interesting guy. He grew up in Washington, Pennsylvania, and is. I'll get back to that in a moment.
Morelli picks up the first down with a toss to Brendan Peretta, his first catch of the season, the junior from Altoona.
Talking about Travis Thomas, just finishing the story there, Tom. A guy that senior year is a football captain, senior class president as well. Actually, he was a class president his freshman and sophomore year.
Every year but one in high school. On the student council, sprinter on the track team. State champion football team at Washington High School his junior season. First down, Penn State. Notre Dame comes with the blitz. And they counter with the screen pass to Hunt. They had the perfect play call on, and it results in a gain to the 45-yard line. A Penn State first down, 15 yards.
Yeah, Penn State has actually run 3 or 4 pretty good screens. I mean, Notre Dame's getting a good pass rush. They caught him once in a blitz and screen, but I think Tony Hunt's a big back into the open field. When he gets some momentum going, he is very hard to bring down.
Morelli wings it out. Incomplete for Bell. Clock shows 3:08 in the third. And Notre Dame up big on Joe Pa's Nittany Lions.
He talks about Anthony Morelli's arm strength. They first saw it when he was 10. He was in one of those punt, pass, and kick contests at Three Rivers Stadium halftime.
He won it.
Yeah. Threw the ball 50 yards as a 10-year-old. Now he's out there in the slot again. This is Morelli, the quarterback, out in the slot.
And Williams takes the snap from center. He's going to pass the ball, and he won't get a chance to unload it. Knocked out of bounds. Ndukwe blasted him.
Hey, what a game Ndukwe has had. Brady Quinn's roommate. Those two guys are going to be able to celebrate tonight.
Back at the house. It's usually quiet over there where they live together.
So I tell you, Ndukwe has really come up big today and just puts the hammer on Derek Williams. Wow.
What about all the pundits who were dissing the Notre Dame defense before the season? Tom Zibikowski took it personally.
Well, they've given up 13 points total thus far this season. And Rick Minner, the defensive coordinator, has done a good job.
Ruled a fumble. Ball spotted where it went out of bounds at the 31. Morelli rifles complete, and another tough hit from Zibikowski. as Norwood makes the catch and then pays the price. 16-yard gain.
I bet you see why his opponent went down in 49 seconds. You know, I mean, he absolutely clobbers people, doesn't he? Watch Zbikowski with a running start on Norwood. Wow. That's a knockout again.
Zbikowski known for his boxing, and Norwood, who made that catch, was point guard on the state championship basketball team in State College, and his brother was on the George Mason Final Four team a year ago. In fact, Joe Paterno first saw Norwood play on the basketball court. Here's Morelli. Wow. Good, tough defense and no flag. Wooden defending Butler. Well, the defense is smelling it now, aren't they? They are inspired.
And growing in confidence. 2 good defensive games in a row for the Irish, and great coverage that time by Ambrose Wooden.
And we remind you of tomorrow night, the Manning Bowl. Eli versus Peyton. The brothers go head-to-head the first time in the NFL. Peyton and Eli. Sunday Night Football tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, here on NBC.
Tom, you forget about how good his dad was, Archie.
Oh.
I mean, boy,
I don't forget.
No, he was a heck of a player
really
himself.
Toss to Walker. Schwab blocking. Didn't get his block. And a loss on the play. And the penetration by Jerome Hayes, a backup linebacker, redshirt freshman.
Yeah, another good linebacker for Penn State. Injured Irishman down.
It is Asaph Schwab, the sophomore fullback.
The unselfish fullback who had a big freshman year last year.
Schwab was trying to get a block on the sweep toss to Walker. Unable to get his block and injured in the process. Well, he'll limp off the field. His coach Charlie Weiss told us last season when he was playing, starting as a freshman, he's all day tough.
Well, can you imagine your first start coming against USC, which it did, and held his own? Lead blocker.
Sort of whiffed on his man there.
Down here.
Yep. Sets up a 2nd down and 16 for the Irish. Walker, the lone running back. Brady Quinn to Walker out of the backfield, and Darius hauled down by Sherrado, but not until he picks up a 1st down crossing that yellow line.
Yeah, and what a nice little change of pace time. You're so worried about defending these big, tall, physical wide receivers. Then you got the guy who's under 6 feet. 5'10", just a little dump pass to his back in the backfield, and he knows what to do with it.
Gain of 18 yards. Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by Xerox. The bubble play out to Samardzija.
Yeah, they call it their look play. It's got really going around in college football, but Notre Dame averaged about 10 yards per play on what they call look. Oftentimes it's just a hand signal or an eye wink between Brady Quinn and Jeff Samardzija. Penn State has done a pretty good job of taking that particular play away today.
Like a call play to me rather than an improvisation.
Right.
Ball's at the 34-yard line.
Quick toss. Carlson. Twisted down by Scarrato. A gain of 16 yards. Big fellow's having a good day on the receiving end, isn't he? That'll bring the third quarter to a close.
6 catches for Carlson, 97 yards. That does qualify as a big day, Tom.
He only had 7 receptions all of last season. And so the third quarter comes to a close with Notre Dame leading Penn State 34-3. And we'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football, presented by Vonage. Notre Dame tradition at the end of the third quarter, the playing of Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture, and the students in time forming the W for Weiss. And the Irish leading 34-3 over Penn State as we start the fourth quarter. Let's go to Lewis for an update on the Schwab injury.
Yeah, Tom, doctors and trainers spent several minutes looking at his left knee. Now they are putting a brace on it and a pad, putting his shoes back on. I have no direct word, but it looks like he may be trying to come back in. We'll see. Tom?
Well, no need to, I would think, at this point.
Score by quarters, 34-3 the count here. And Notre Dame, as we start the fourth quarter, will have a 3rd and 2 from the Nittany Lion 27-yard line. Quinn with a toss to Walker. Darius stacked up at the down marker.
Yeah, he's going to be, I think, just short of the first down. How about a Brady Quinn quarterback sneak, Tom, if they didn't make it?
Was Lesney the tackle pad, and that's right, as we said earlier, Brady Quinn, he is 6'4" and 230-some pounds, and hard to stop on a quarterback sneak. In fact, he's never been stopped by our count.
Yeah, 404. Big one last week.
They're going to call timeout for a measurement here. And Quinn takes the opportunity to come to the sideline. Here's the measurement. Notre Dame dominating after the first quarter, at least. And just short, as you called it, of the first down.
Well, you know, last year then there's Schwab up and walking on the sidelines. Last year they kind of went a lot of empty backfields and ran a quarterback sneak. Last week, though, they had Schwab in the backfield when he ran a quarterback sneak.
Here's Ashley McConnell, the backup fullback on. 6 foot, 239 pounds, senior from Adairsville, Georgia.
Well, we just mentioned 4-4 so far in his the last 2 years as under Charlie in quarterback sneaks.
McConnell the fullback and Walker the tailback. Walker now goes in motion. Handed off to McConnell. Didn't get much, but he got enough.
That's a nice change of pace. I think everybody was expecting Brady Quinn to sneak it. Inside stunt, and Ashley McConnell.
Only the second carry of his Notre Dame career. He's a senior, didn't play in 03 or 04. Played in 3 games last year and had 1 carry. Former All-State fullback and linebacker at Adairsville High School in Georgia.
Well, you know, with the injury to Schwab, you know, Charlie Weiss just kind of goes into a different gear. He's got a 1-back set using, 3 wideouts and 1 tight end. You'll see some 2 tight end and maybe even some 3 tight end formations out of him.
Samardzija going one-on-one and hauling it to the 15-yard line. Lesney after a gain of 9.
And a good block by Raymond McKnight, the other receiver. Yeah. And Raymond McKnight got called for a holding penalty in a similar play last week. Right there, just blocks down on Donnie Johnson. And then Jeff Samardzija can turn a 2-yard gain or a 3-yard pass into about 12 yards.
With this nice move on Lydell Sargent. By the way, that last 4th down conversion means that Notre Dame 4 for 4 on 4th down today, Pat.
Well, Akron was 4 for 4 on 4th down last week against Penn State.
Walker.
Good tackle inside there.
Slammed to the turf by Chris Baker.
Good job by Baker and Jerome Hayes.
So first down for the Irish.
So, boy, Charlie Weiss has just kind of, controlled this clock in the game. I mean, Penn State's defense has been on there forever.
That was the trend in the first half, and it's continued even more so here in the second half.
Well, they've had, 2 punts?
They've converted some turnovers. I mean, it's just been an all-round performance by the Irish. First down from the 13. Walker tripped up in the backfield. That'll be a loss on the play. Penetration by the Penn State defense. And Chris Baker again in on the play for the Nittany Lions.
2 good plays in a row there by Chris Baker. Getting some penetration. I'll tell you, when you've had to play that many plays, you need your backup guys to come in and be fresh and get some penetration.
Well, Joe Paterno, we talked to him yesterday, Pat. He said, well, we're young. We haven't really been tested. This will be a big test for us, but we'll have to improve our play a lot to hang with Notre Dame. We all thought that was the typical Joe Paterno line, but fairly prophetic. Big mistakes today have really hurt their cause.
I think he believes, though, this team is going to be a pretty good team.
Well, I think he does, too.
Yeah.
I think he does, too. Just young.
Yeah, they got some talent.
Screen pass, Walker. Touchdown.
Touchdown pass of the day by Brady Quinn to his 3rd different receiver. The 2 big wide receivers, and then Darius Walker is not only a good receiver, Tom, but really a good screen runner. I mean, we talk about patience. You need patience to be a good screen runner, and the celebration in the end zone for Darius Walker.
Took it in 15 yards, and Joya nails the extra point. Well, the Irish hitting on all cylinders here today in their home opener after a narrow escape against Georgia Tech. And looking good today.
Yeah, on offense, defense, even the special teams. Good block downfield by Chase Anastasio, the wide receiver, who got the last tackler that could have gotten in the way of Darius Walker.
And Brady Quinn has hit his last 5 passes. Another touchdown in the books for Brady. It's 41-3. Back at Notre Dame Stadium, we invite you to stay tuned for the Vonage Notre Dame postgame report. Be seen on these NBC stations and then on the web as well. We'll have interviews for you, press conferences, all sorts of highlights as well. And that's the Vonage Notre Dame postgame report as we look at touchdown Jesus just over the wall of Notre Dame Stadium here.
And the Zibikowski cut.
Wallace and Coretta, the deep man for the Renkus kickoff. A.J. Wallace from the goal line. Made a nice move, but can't quite get free. Stopped at the 10-yard line. Ray Herring on special teams.
Yeah, Charlie Weiss has to be awfully happy with the special teams as well, too, Tom.
Well, this is the 10th possession for Penn State. Their average start was their own 21. Their best start, their own 30. So the field position battle has gone to Notre Dame as well. And the Irish, meantime, have scored 4 touchdowns their last 5 possessions. And Penn State, second half miscues and some in the first half
pass,
as well.
Fumbles, penalties, interceptions, been a bunch.
Morelli with a hand to Rodney Kinlaw. Kinlaw, the backup tailback. Pretty good gain on first down. Chris Fromm, the tackle.
And we were talking to Galen Hall about Kinlaw, and we said, well, what about O'Rodney? He said, this guy is exceptionally fast. You know, this is not the old plodding Penn State team that a lot of people think of. The last 2 years, they've really gotten young and very athletic, and Rodney Kinlaw is one of those athletes.
Anthony Morelli.
There's another one.
Hits his man, Chris Bell. He's a freshman from Norfolk, Virginia. Wooden chases him out of bounds. Looks like he has the first down. And Michigan beats Central Michigan today, 41-17. And the Wolverines will be in here at Notre Dame Stadium next week. That should be a good one as well. This one was highly hyped, as we said. The highest request for tickets the Notre Dame ticket office has ever gotten for a game. But it's been all Irish. Started slowly, perhaps, that first quarter, but since then they have been pouring it on in all phases of the game. Kinlaw stopped by Coons. Brady Quinn had a big afternoon, 25 of 36, 287 yards, 3 touchdown passes. And really spreading the ball around well today, Brady Quinn. Norwood spins away from Richardson and gets close to the first down. Richardson finally recovers to make the tackle, but it's a first down for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, Jordan Norwood's going to have another good year, I think, for Penn State. Had a solid year last year. We talked about how well he played in the Orange Bowl, but a guy that just does not bobble the ball. Catches everything thrown his way.
Morelli has Williams. Eric Williams draws the crowd at the 40, led by Ambrose Wooden.
Trevor Laws.
Gain,
excuse me, Trevor Laws was out there in the tackle. Trevor Laws plays defensive tackle, and yet he was out all the way downfield 25 yards to help make that tackle.
Running play to Kinlaw. Thrown back. Crum, Zibikowski, Ndukwe. And first down, Penn State.
Yeah, and Charlie Weiss has found some pretty good linebackers, right? Move Maurice Crum inside, and Travis Thomas looks like he's more than holding his own as an outside linebacker.
And he got good marks from the veteran defensive players for his rookie performance on defense a week ago. Nice catch by Norwood as he took it off the turf in front of Richardson.
I tell you, Maurice Crum right up the middle got into Anthony Morelli, and Anthony Morelli just hung in there. This is one of the hardest things, you just hang in there knowing you're going to take a shot, and he didn't even knock him down, and delivered the ball to Norwood.
And he got it to Norwood for the first down. Of course, Notre Dame content to let them throw underneath all afternoon with what's remaining of it. Wooden bumps that receiver out of bounds. It was Peretta. And Anthony Morelli 5 for 5 on this drive so far.
You know, I think Morelli has a big upside. We talked about his arm strength, his pocket presence. Pretty accurate.
Kinlaw chugging his way forward for another Nittany Lion first down. This series between Notre Dame and Penn State, as we said, they both started playing football in 1887. The series tied 8 wins apiece and 1 tie. First time they played since 1992. That was the Snow Bowl, remember, here when Brooks caught a 2-point conversion from Rick Meyer for the deciding game in the snow. Screen pass held out by Crum. That was the game Notre Dame Penn State in 1992 where they filmed the football scenes of Rudy at halftime.
The game of Jerome Bettis scored the touchdown.
He did score the touchdown, and then Brooks the 2-point conversion. Great game. Morelli with a lot of time. Overshoots Darling, the tight end. Well, here is that game in 1992. Rick Meyer and Jerome Bettis.
The bus. Pre-bus days.
Yeah, before the bus. And then Brooks lays out to make this 2-point conversion catch. Lou Holtz and Joe Paterno, and the Irish had the victory. Morelli.
Set a good throw.
Caught on the run by Peretta. Out of bounds by Ndukwe. Another first down.
Hang some laundry on that throw. Watch it, right at you. Perfectly thrown ball out in front of the wide receiver, Peretta. Nothing the defensive back can do. I mean, you're throwing it that quickly and that accurately, there's just no chance to make up the gap.
Ball at the 21-yard line. First down for Penn State. Lost it to Wallace, A.J. Wallace.
A.J. Wallace has become a two-way player now for the Nittany Lions. He's listed as a DB.
Right, a la Travis Thomas. He's had some nice gains in the first 2 games on offense for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, in spite of this score and the way this game is gone, I think Anthony Morelli is going to develop into a pretty good quarterback this season. Certainly has a big-time arm that we've seen. One bad throw for the interception.
The handoff to Kinlaw, dancing his way to the 3-yard line. Mike Richardson prevented the touchdown, still a gain of 13 yards.
Yeah, the quickness of Rodney Kinlaw. You got a power back in Tony Hunt. We saw him in the first 3 quarters. Now Rodney Kinlaw, certainly a change of pace. Austin Scott, another running back they have injured, not able to play today, but had over 100 yards in the Orange Bowl.
First and goal, Penn State from the Notre Dame 3. Toss the ball to Kinlaw. Stacked up short of the goal line. Ray Herring came up from the secondary to put the hit, and then Kinlaw drew a crowd.
Yeah, a little help from Maurice Crum as well. Yeah, Herring was the first guy there, kind of slowed him down, and Maurice Crum finished him off.
From the 2-yard line, second down and goal. Scrambling, just ducks out of bounds. Probably should have thrown that one away.
Absolutely should have thrown that one away. Absolutely. I think he lost a yard, didn't he?
Yep. Well, again, inexperience. He has the physical tools, but
yeah, without a doubt,
inexperience for the former Penn Hills High School star, who in his career passed for 5,200 yards and 57 touchdowns.
Okay, nickel defense comes in for the Irish. Bunch of wideouts come in for Penn State.
Third down and goal. Ball spotted at the 4. Morelli, swing pass. Williams, nothing doing.
Ambrose Wooden.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Dukeway was there too, and Richardson as well.
Good tackling by Ambrose Wooden, and then Mike Richardson, the other corner earlier in the game. Open field tackle against a premier player in the Big Ten, Derek Williams.
Well, they were shredded by Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl, the Notre Dame defense. They heard about it. That's 600 yards. Charlie White said he heard about it all off season. They took it personally, and they've been a different defense the first 2 games of this season. Fourth and goal from the 2. Morelli drills for the touchdown. Nice catch by Butler as Morelli with a frozen rope to the back of the end zone.
Yeah, great throw and terrific catch by Deion Butler, because that had some oomph on it. That thing was traveling at least 40 miles an hour, I think. He actually took him all the way into the end zone. Got the right foot down, did he?
Yep, just barely
right
inside.
Foot inside the white line. Good. Well, you know, Morelli just kind of hung in there. There's the right foot. Did he touch that white line? I think he's inside it.
Very close.
I wouldn't be surprised if they look at that upstairs.
Anthony Morelli, meanwhile, Pat, was 10 of 11 on that one. Of course, granted, Notre Dame was giving him the underneath stuff, but
he's got some upside. Yeah. He really does. He's 21 of 33 right now, 190 yards. You know, if I were Charlie, I'd just try the coach's challenge. Just to
Pat, it's 41.
I know, but he hasn't done it yet.
Right? He doesn't need practice doing that.
5-yard penalty, and we'll play the try.
A Penn State penalty on the point after. And the camera there really blocks it a little bit. You can't really tell if there's any white beneath his foot or not. So, given the circumstances, I say play on.
Charlie agrees with you, obviously. You got to practice everything, don't you?
He does, doesn't he? Extra point is good by Kelly. And so Penn State gets a touchdown, but it comes with 5:51 on the clock, and Joe Pye and the Nittany Lions facing a 41-10 deficit. Notre Dame football is brought to you by General Motors, a new level of quality, a new level of confidence. By ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. By Sirius Satellite Radio, the best radio on radio. And by Xerox, helping your business grow with technology, document management, and consulting services. Beautiful shot of the Notre Dame campus, the Golden Dome, and in the foreground, Notre Dame Stadium. Our aerial shots courtesy of Goodyear, bringing innovative technology to you.
Believe me, the bookstore a bit crowded today.
Wow. The whole campus has been Something to witness this weekend.
Brady Quinn going to go home and shoot some pool with his teammate Chininu Ndukwe.
Relax a little bit.
Yeah.
See how his mom took the game. His mom, Robin, is his biggest critic.
Yeah, she didn't even talk to him after last week's Georgia Tech game. He's upset the way he played.
And a lot of people threw him off the Heisman bandwagon after the Georgia Tech game, and I suspect he's back on. Meanwhile, Evan Sharpley is getting the final word here. He's going to come in at quarterback for Notre Dame, and Charlie Weiss telling us that he wouldn't have to change the game plan at all for Sharpley. He does the same thing, makes the same calls he would for Brady Quinn. By the onside kick, Penn State, and that's a good one. It does bounce out of bounds, but they had a shot at it.
Yeah, it really looked like Chris Bell, the freshman receiver, 6'2", had a shot but didn't get his paws up there.
And Jeremy Sisto, Delroy Lindo, Timothy Hutton, and Dana Delaney star in NBC's new thriller Kidnapped. Suspect Everything. Kidnapped premieres Wednesday, September 20th here on NBC.
Well, everybody's wondering who's going to be the #2 quarterback. You're going to get a chance to see him. Evan Sharpley and Brady Quinn still helping him out with the play calls.
There's Sharpley, Marshall, Michigan. Didn't play last season, although he was an infielder on the Notre Dame baseball team. Marshall High School, Marshall, Michigan, all-stater. Passed for over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns.
He was only the 10th Michigan player to do that. State of Michigan high school player.
And pitched to Manir Prince as the speedy freshman gets a chance but loses a couple of yards. Freshman from Florissant, Missouri, the speedster, 5'10", 184 pounds. Ashley McConnell is also in at fullback, new backfield for the Irish. And continuing with Sharpley, Pat, not only was he an all-state football player, but all-state baseball, shortstop and pitcher as well, and was a basketball guard. His uncle, you may remember, Jim Nanowski, played quarterback at Michigan State and in the NFL.
Well, you know, he's a backup baseball player, backup first baseman for Notre Dame's baseball team.
Pitch to Prince. Nice cut in the backfield, but can't get away. Stopped at about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Charlie Weiss said to us this week or yesterday about Prince that if this guy ever gets in the open field, no one's ever going to catch him.
Right.
Compared him to Napoleon Kaufman, the old University of Washington back. And
he said, I know I'm showing my age, but there aren't many that fast who've been around.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Originally committed to Iowa as a defensive back. Charlie convinced him to come to Notre Dame as a running back, and they think he has an opportunity to really add some speed in a different dimension in their backfield.
Third down here for Evan Sharpley. Sharpley looking one way, the other has to scramble, tucks it under, makes it back to the original line of scrimmage. Chris Baker wrapped him up. So Sharpley tried to attempt his first pass, but couldn't find anyone open. And on fourth down, the punt team will come out. Jeff Price.
And Penn State uses a timeout.
Stops the clock with 3 minutes, 51 seconds. Notre Dame on the way to a big victory over the Nittany Lions. Brady Quinn and the Irish on their way to victory, and we take a look at our Chevrolet players of the game. Tony Hunt of Penn State and Brady Quinn of Notre Dame. Hunt rushing for 100 yards today. In recognition of their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American revolution.
Yeah, Brady Quinn played smartly last week and played really very, very well throwing the ball today. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Wasn't even close, really.
Jeff Price will punt to Anthony Scarrato. Scarrato dodged the first man, but not the second and third. And Penn State will take over. Kyle McCarthy, first man down on special teams, and Notre Dame defense back out.
How about Joe Paterno through the years? 41 years as a head coach. And Tom, kind of the same look all of those 41 years from Joe. You know, he he's been a marvel.
The football player and outstanding scholar at Brown University, still holds some of the Brown records.
14 interceptions there.
Where he first hooked up with Rip Engel, who brought him to State College.
About 8 U.S. presidents serving since he's been head coach.
Scramble by Darrell Clark, who's the backup quarterback by Penn State, a redshirt freshman from Youngstown, Ohio. In fact, Penn State will play Youngstown State next week. Travis Light, though, the tackle.
First game on campus, September 30th, 1950. Yikes. Only missed 2 games. He told us one was his father's funeral. Died and went to his father's funeral, and his son was sick on another one.
Once when he was an assistant, once when he was the head coach. And it was interesting that Charlie Weiss paid him a big compliment. He said, can you imagine all that's transpired in our society since he's been the head coach, from the Vietnam War to now, and still relating to youngsters? And we asked him if the student athlete had changed, and he said, no, not really. He said it's a little tougher for him in a lot of ways, more distractions and more ways to get in trouble, you might say. But he said the kids are still basically the same. They want a penalty against Notre Dame. He said they want guidance. They want a chance to do well. And he also went a step further, Pat, saying that he thought college football had a greater effect on our society than almost anything you can name in a positive way.
Yeah.
Teaching teamwork and teaching...
You know, he was asked in 1982 after he won his first national championship, this was his best team. He said, I don't know. My best team will be the team that produces the most productive citizens. You don't know that for 20 years.
So he's done it the right way. Been a credit to his university and to his chosen profession.
You know, he was he was a quarterback and defensive back at Brown as you look at the all-time winningest coaches.
In 1A.
In 1A, that's right.
And, of course, he'll be back here to South Bend in December to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame with Bobby Bowden of Penn State, of Florida State, and John Gagliardi, who is a 1AA all-time coach.
You know, he actually also played basketball at Brown. I don't know if you were aware of that. He played quarterback, and he didn't have the interception record on defense, but played 2 years of basketball there at Brown. And so he asked about how he ended up at Brown. He said, you know, he kind of went to all these Catholic schools as a youngster, and people wanted him to go to Georgetown and other Catholic Jesuit universities, and said he was looking for something a little bit different, went to Brown, and that's where he says life was forever changed by playing for Rip Engel.
Majored in English Lit. He said he can remember in the 30s listening to Notre Dame play on the radio, Notre Dame-Ohio State game, when Shakespeare led Notre Dame to victory. And he said, well, you know, that's what got me interested in English Lit. I thought Shakespeare was still playing.
Yeah, he's done it all. And, you know, just you think about his work ethic, too. We talked to him by Monday. He had already watched tape of his last game and watched 3 Notre Dame games getting ready for this one. Well, he's still working hard.
Clark completes the pass to Norwood.
Yeah, nice throw by Darrell Clark. And once again, how about the hands of Jordan Norwood? Just kind of sucks up the ball. The ball doesn't get bobbled.
Approaching the final minute. Notre Dame has allowed only 2 touchdowns this year, one today and one against Georgia Tech. That one incomplete. In fact, the defense between that Tech game and today went 99 minutes and 44 seconds, nearly 100 minutes between their opponents' touchdowns.
Well, it doesn't get a whole lot easier for Joe Paterno. He's going to Ohio State in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, Youngstown State next week. And then, of course, Notre Dame is going to take the field against Michigan here next week. We'll have it here on NBC at 3:30. Clark to the sideline, overshoots Chris Bell. And that's next Saturday, 3:30. As Charlie Weiss and the Fighting Irish will meet the Wolverines of Michigan, ranked 10th before today's games. They beat Central Michigan handily today, and the Irish in a tie for 4th. And pretty impressive victory for them today against this Penn State team.
What do you think Charlie will vote his team this week? He actually voted them down last week from 2 to 4.
Fake the handoff, and Clark's going to take off with it.
Oh, good run.
Caught from behind by John Ryan.
Good run there.
Freshman getting some playing time.
Good play by Daryl Clark.
There's the Shark, Jeff Samardzija.
And the rodent,
Trevor Laws.
Yeah.
Samardzija, 6 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown today. Balanced attack for the offense. And a sterling performance by the defense and special teams. And we're inside the final minutes. Clark's pass.
Knocked away by Darren Walls, number 2. Another one of the freshmen that Charlie Weiss seems to be so high about.
Walls, one of those Western Pennsylvania players from Pittsburgh that got away from Penn State.
Yeah. Intercepted 15 passes his first 3 years in high school. Didn't play much last year because of an injury, but first 3 seasons had 15 picks. And for the very first day of training camp, he's been working, a lot with the first unit in nickel and dime situations.
Second down and goal. 9-yard line. Clark lost it into the end zone through the hands of Andrew Corliss, the freshman tight end.
That is an absolute touch. I mean, they really have had some miscues, Penn State. They had some guys open. They missed him once. Missed Derek Williams once in the end zone. That time, Corliss, after a perfect throw from Daryl Clark, should have caught it for a touch.
Well, Joe Paterno said we're young and untested under fire. And they have had some miscues under fire today. Third down and goal with 34 seconds. Clark, the quarterback, still has it to the 5-yard line. Ray Herring, the Notre Dame tackle, and to the boos of the crowd, Penn State takes a timeout with 25 seconds left.
Well, Charlie Weiss, I think, has to be more pleased with his defense than just about anything else, Tom. I mean, you knew Brady Quinn was going to be productive this season, right? He had a big day again today, and Darius Walker and all those guys and wide receivers. But boy, oh boy, the defense has been
the offense
terrific.
Was expected. That's one of the reasons, I guess, that people were so critical of them last week because of expectations. But here, the defense, with no expectations coming into the season, or very few, I should say, has been really the strong point of this team in the first 2 games. But today was really an all-around, hard to knock them on any phase of the game today as we see their upcoming schedule. Here next week against Michigan, then they'll go to Michigan State, and then Purdue, Stanford, and UCLA after a week off.
I saw UCLA in week 1. Boy, they look good. Big new quarterback, Ben Olsen, big left-hander.
But Brady Quinn and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish back on target after narrowly escaping at Georgia Tech a week ago. 4th down. Clark dives into the end zone for the touchdown. Daryl Clark scores the touchdown for Penn State.
A nice little drive by Daryl Clark. Threw a ball that should have been caught for a touchdown, and then kind of a powerful run on 4th down. He's 224 pounds, not just a little skinny guy. That was a run all the way. Good block up front there by Kinlaw. Cleared the way for the quarterback, Daryl Clark.
So the second touchdown of the game for the Nittany Lions. Both came late. And 20 seconds showing on the clock. Kelly's extra point is good. So the redshirt freshman, Daryl Clark, gets another Penn State touchdown. And with 20 seconds remaining, it's 41-17 Irish. "20 seconds left before Notre Dame goes to 2-0 on the season. Penn State will be 1-1. And we invite you to remain tuned for the Vonage Notre Dame postgame report. We'll have it on these NBC stations and live on the web as well. Big afternoon for the Irish faithful, and you can imagine that the expectations will intensify with Michigan coming to town next week.
Even a smile from Charlie. Did you see that?
Well, he'll be sorry that we had it on camera because he wouldn't want anybody to see it.
I know.
Onside.
Oh, they got it this time.
They do have it. It's recovered by Chris Bell.
I thought he was going to get the last one. They called the penalty down or penalty flag down. Watch, Charlie will have them practicing against onside kicks down there.
Well, he needed something. Yeah. He needed something to hang his hat on this week. So the ball probably failed to go 10 yards. That's likely the call. Big Ten officiating crew will huddle up.
Illegal touching. The kicking team touched the ball before it went 10 yards. It'll be Notre Dame's ball at that spot. First down.
Well, let's see. That's 5. That's 7. That's just shy of 10.
Close. He couldn't wait any longer. Chris said, it's just hanging up there. Just got to get it.
And that'll do it.
An impressive victory today for the Irish as Joe Paterno heads to midfield. And a smile for Charlie Weis. Brady Quinn had a big day, 25 of 36, 287 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading Notre Dame to 4 touchdowns in 5 possessions in the second and third quarters to break the game open. And let's go to Lewis with Coach Weis.